Hi guys, so this is a little video for anyone who identifies with having maybe hoarding compulsions, and I'm someone who identifies with, certainly in my past, hanging on to things and getting very emotional about those items and the memories that I believe they hold for me. So it's been a big process for me to move forward. And actually, I'm in a position now where, because I've changed the way that I look at things, it means that moving forward, I haven't been bringing lots of items into my life, but I've had to look backwards and start sorting through all the things that I've collected and held on to in the years when I wasn't, aware of what I needed to do. And I wasn't fully aware of the environment I was creating for myself at home, how challenging that can be. So here's the story, and it's from yesterday. So it's not a story like made up, it's a story like this is what happened last night. So, okay, I was decluttering clothes and I had two big bags of clothes and I'd put them next to my door. And then I had a dress and I kept thinking, what should I do with it? And I put it in the bag, I took it out, I put it in, I took it out. Anyway, I woke up yesterday morning to find the bags had gone. And it transpired one of my relatives was going to the charity shop. So they thought, well, I'll just take the bags with me. And they didn't say to me, should I take them? Because if they had, I would have grabbed that dress. So it was gone. And so I think the important thing to note is, despite me having a different outlook on my future, this is my connection with my past. So when I saw they were gone, I said, have you seen them? They were like, oh no, I've given them away. And I was feeling really rageful. I was so angry. And I was like, I don't want to react in front of anyone. I don't want to have an argument. So I was just like, right, I'll see you a bit later. Anyway, I had to have a moment. I had to do something. I was like, I need to throw something. I need to break something. So I got this big file, like, I don't know what you call it, a big tray of like paperwork, and I just went and threw it all over the floor. And that helped a bit, because there's different ways of expressing rage. And, throwing some paper on the floor is a fairly safe kind of activity. And I only had to clean it up later on. But then what I did is I had to go for a walk. I was just like, I have to get out, I have to get out. So I went for a walk. I went for a walk for about an hour and a half. And at one point I was just walking around this massive tree. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I want to tell you what kind of emotions came up for me. And this is why, as a professional organizer, I do have that, that understanding and that empathy with my clients, because it's a process that's been really extreme for me as well. But I'm doing it and I'm going, well, not now, I've been doing it and going through it. That I'm kind of coming towards, the end of this kind of lifestyle project, my life. Anyone who's seen my PTSD videos, since PTSD, everything's changed for me, career, everything. So it means that there's, so that's where I've had a sticking point where certain items and things I use have gone on hold for the last few years. So now I have to think, right, am I ready to wear or use these things again? Or are they part of a past life now to let go of? So, these things can come up all the time, even if you're, you've got a different attitude about moving forwards, it can still come up in different ways, from past objects. Anyway, so I was so angry, I was, and what I whittled it down to is that I wasn't angry about all the other items in the bag or the two bags, because I was going to let them go anyway. It's just I wanted to do it. I didn't want someone else to do it for me. I wanted to throw it away. Because then you live with that decision. It's not like someone coming along and hurting you. It's like you made that step and you move forward. But I was like, I just want this one dress. And this is how connected I am to items. I actually went down to that shop today and I said, do you have my dress? Or, you know, the rest of the staff, you know, it's fine, but this dress. And, you know, they said they'd look for it and they'd call me, and I haven't heard from them. And I know I'm going to go and have a look tomorrow just in case. So I can see I've still got that connection. But I think if you've got hoarding tendencies, another thing to think about is when someone does throw away your items, why does it give you rage or anger or whatever emotions that it kicks up for you? What, you know, for some of us it's a trust thing, because we're like, well, I can't leave my stuff anywhere because you might throw it away and take decisions away from me. But there's clearly something deeper than that. There is deeper things than that. So I think, you know, that's an item of clothing that I bought for myself. It's something that, you know, I spent my money on and I chose it, and it's really versatile because I knew I like to hang on to my fashion and my clothes. I'm not a disposable fashion person. I actually like to buy things that I love and that I'm going to wear, and I'm going to wear and keep, you know, not that I'm going to wear and throw away because it costs, you know, a lot less money. So there was all sorts of things coming up for me, you know, finances, trust, a decision being taken away from me, something I wasn't ready to do or I hadn't chosen to do. And it made me super angry. I'm going to actually be talking a bit more about hoarding probably towards November time. I'm going to be looking at some examples of hoarding and when properties really get out of control and, you know, items are just taking over. I think the thing is, though, people will say, I don't understand, you know, when the families are there and they're helping, and, you know, you've got people working in the person's property to take the hoard out and throw things away, and you see the actual person, you know, even though they want to do the declutter, they're like, wow, this is too much. Experiences like yesterday reminds me where I have my empathy and where I have my own experience of connection and memory and my possession that I decide, you know, those feelings, you know, they were reignited and they were really strong for me yesterday. But what I would say is, and that's why I want to work with people in this way, because, or that's why I do work with people in this way, it's because, you know, I understand that. But what I also understand is that today, other than going to see if that dress was there, I did my exercise, very happy, got the enjoyment out of other activities I did, you know, and actually it didn't take anything away from me, and it didn't take anything away from my life. It's something that was bothering me in my brain, just this one item in the bag. It was like, I was sort of like, oh, I wonder if it's around. But that's something that will actually go with time. And the other things I was completely ready to let go of. I'm not even thinking about them. I can remember what some of them are. I probably don't remember all of them. And actually, it feels like a weight off my shoulders. So if you're someone who hasn't got hoarding tendencies, but you know someone who does, this is kind of some of the emotions that we go through. Obviously, some people feel it on such a grand scale, and it's probably because their trauma is so, you know, has been so deep and has taken root so deeply. And this is, you know, either their coping mechanism or they're not being able to cope anymore. So it is important to kind of see where people are coming from. But what I'd also say to my fellow friends with hoarding tendencies is that I go through the process myself. I come through the other end, and I know that while there's so many reasons why we do it and why we don't want to let go, there predominantly are excuses and there are fears. And so we need to face our fears. And we need to dissolve some of our excuses and tell ourselves we don't need someone else to answer to our excuses. We just need to listen to them ourselves and think, do they sound rational? You know, I've got rage because a piece of material has left my home, and, you know, not in the best circumstances, but ultimately it's not a life deal breaker, is it? So, you know, it is tough though, it's really tough. And that's why I wanted to share this experience and let you know that I'm never so far away from my own journey that I don't remember what it feels like. I absolutely do. All right then. Well, I look forward to seeing you again or speaking to you again soon.